All right, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean coming at you this fine Saturday morning. I hope everyone is doing well and having a fantastic weekend. Today we got something a little different. Let me move this keyboard out of the way. First and foremost, like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Let's grow the Meanie Horde. We have a Discord channel. Links will all be down in the doobly-doo to everything. Check me out. Help support the channel. It means a lot. Patreon, $5 a month. Get you a free drawing every couple of months. I do a giveaway where I give to my Patreons just some stuff that I have laying around that the vendors have sent me and things like that for review and stuff like that. Things that we got to you got to pay it forward, and you guys help support the channel. With your generous support, I was able to buy the Rode microphone system. I'm really liking it. It's been a bit of a hassle in dialing in the audio, but I'm switching over to the Mac to do all my recording and my interviews. And I know that the last interview I did with Chris over at Das Ex Machina, his audio was super low, but when we did the testing, everything sounded fine. So I do apologize for that. You just kind of have to crank it up. Luckily, I didn't do a whole lot of talking in that one. Chris is a pretty verbose guy, and he had a lot of cool things to say. So it was a fun interview. Hopefully you can tolerate it and listen to it. Go support his games. He's got a Kickstarter going on right now. So, show him some love and support. He's a full-time indie designer, games. He makes his own imprint and everything. So go help him out if you can. Let's see, what else? I think that's housekeeping. We'll talk a little bit more about it at the end. The Rode mics, I think, are working pretty good. Let me know how the audio sounds on this. I know a lot of people are saying they have to turn me up a little bit. I have no control over. I'm at max. I'm at 100% record volume. So hopefully it sounds okay. It may just be an issue with the Mac. Macs are really funny. They want you to do everything in their software, and that could be an issue. So I don't know. I'm using OBS on the Mac. I can go to iMovie and record and everything, and actually iMovie gives me a lot more flexibility. So that was the whole point of buying this Mac Mini in the first place. This is the M1 Mac Mini. So I think what I'm going to try to do is get a little more familiar with iMovie and start recording my videos in iMovie, because everything you can do in OBS, you can do in iMovie. So anyway, that being that, thanks again for all the support and the love. You guys are awesome. I appreciate all the comments. I do try to answer every comment. So post away, please. Join the Discord. We talk about cool games. Speaking of cool games, this came up on my Facebook radar and one of the groups I follow in Facebook, and I just had to have it. So I went on Amazon and I ordered it, and it came in yesterday. Goblin Slayer, TRPG. Now, this is wholly Japanese. Now, it's in English. It's been converted. I want to give a special shout out to Alice Prose, aka Popo. She is the translation. She did the translation for this. This is produced by Yen Press. It is copyrighted 2019, but it was actually went to print in America in 2020. I don't know if it was a Kickstarter. I couldn't find that information out. I went to yenpress.com. That's YENPRESS.com, hoping to find a PDF of this, and I couldn't. They do a lot of manga, which is awesome. I do enjoy manga. I don't read it as much as I should. I just don't have the time, and I'm more reading into novels. Right now I'm reading all the Star Wars novels, so I'm enjoying that on my Kindle. Anyway, you can also catch them on Facebook /Yen Press. So I'm going to go check them out on Facebook and join them and see. But I'm going to tell you right now, we're gonna dispense with everything. We're going to go pros and cons. I'm going to tell you this is a buy. I think it was $30 or $20 as the price on the back. I don't remember what I paid for it on Amazon. I want to tell you right now, this is a buy. Japanese tabletop RPGs are a little bit different than Americans, but I'll tell you, this layout in here is phenomenal. This is a chunky book, 615 pages, black and white. Now, it is soft-backed, as you can see. It's chunky, man. We always, in America, we say TTRPG, tabletop RPG, but in Japan, they just abbreviate it to TRPG. And I think they do that so as to keep, I don't want to say confusion, because to me, TTRPG would be easier and would definitely tell me right off the bat that it's a tabletop RPG as opposed to, TRPG could easily be confused with CRPG, which is computer role-playing game, which are huge in Japan. So this was done by, the cover art was by Nobuo Kanatuki. Hopefully I said that correctly. And then the game design was by Tadaki Kawahito and Group SNE. Now, SNE, I believe, is Nintendo, if I remember. Or Sega. Oh, well, it's not Sega North America. I think it's Nintendo. I don't remember. Anyway, if you know, put it down in the comments below. I'm not a big console Japanese gamer or CRPG gamer of Japanese games, so I don't know. I'm going to tell you right now, this is pretty cool. Now, Feral Games Inc., Jay Lasarde, I love you, brother. You helped grow my channel. I think I've helped grow your stuff. We've been together in this from the beginning, and you take care of me, and I appreciate it. And you've been there when I needed you. And I know I tout how I hate D6 games, and you've already posted on my Discord. This is a D6 game. So, but I like it. Now I haven't got to play it, but just reading the brief rules and glancing through it, I'm going to tell you, first of all, if you're an organization freak like I am and you like things done a certain way, this book is going to sing to you. It is done very well. It is laid out very clearly, very concise, which if you know the Japanese and their mindset and their work ethic, totally makes sense. It is so well done and clear and concise. The font is a little small for these old eyes, but I can read it without my glasses. Of course, I have bifocals, so that makes it even easier. It's really well done. All the art is from the TV series or the manga, Goblin Slayer. Now, I will say, don't rush out and buy your kids the Goblin Slayer, anime, because it is not kid friendly. It has scenes of rape in it. It has scenes of gory violence. Now, if you're down with that and your kids are a little bit older and they're okay with watching that kind of stuff, then by all means, I recommend you go watch it. It's a great anime. I haven't seen any of the manga novels, but I think I'm going to the mall later on today, and I will go to Barnes & Nobles. I'm going to check and see if maybe they have like a thick book that I might pick it up and just give it a read. But you literally start off in this like you do in the animated series. So it's pretty cool. You're level 1 adventurers. You take a job at the guild hall. They have this adventurers guild that you are a part of. This is literally set in the four-cornered world of Goblin Slayer. So if you watch Goblin Slayer, you're going to get all your cultural background, all your information that you're going to need to play this. You're going to get it. It's really well done. It's very well written. They give very good examples. They kind of, the beginning of it is kind of slow. They do start off with what is a role-playing game, all the metrics that are involved, the dice pools and things like that, dice and conventions and everything like that. So it is a little slow if you're a veteran gamer, but if you're new to gaming, I gotta say, this is really laid out well for you, and it's going to help you get going. It is very well. They have these, as you can see, there's the gray tabs that denote the sections of the book. I'm tempted to get some of those little tabs from Staples, those little sticky tabs, and bookmark these out and say what they are, because you can flip through it, but all it says is chapter. Each one of those little dark gray spots. So you do have to use the table of contents, and there is a full index. 615 pages, kids. This is a chunky beast. The downside, the paper is pretty flimsy. It is thick enough that you won't, it's not super thin, it's not newspaper thin, but it's actually pretty thick. I don't think it's going to rip easily on you, but it is that almost that recycled paper color. I don't know what you call it, but you can see it's clear, it's concise, it's laid out well. The art is all taken from the manga, whether it be the books or some of it looks like stills they pulled from the anime. There is not a ton of art in here, but it is packed with so much information. They literally spell everything out on how you're supposed to do things. I'm just trying to find a piece of art. It is, like I said, a chunky book. Yeah, see. There's a piece of art. So hopefully you can see that. So laid out really well. Character creation. They give you a phenomenal example of how a character is made. I mean, they break it down step by step by step. It's really well done. Some American publishers could take some hints from this on how to produce a book. But lately, in this modern age with publishing and software and everything, I mean, there's a lot of great looking games out there, and this is definitely one of them. You start building a character with 3,000 experience points, and you build it up. And you're still a level 1 character. Every 1,000 experience points, you gain a level, and then you get points. You get 1 adventuring point, which increases your adventure level, which is different from your character level. There are 10 character levels, so you don't go past 10. You can still keep gaining experience and buying with your 3. You get 3 points. I forgot exactly what they call those points, but each time you gain a level, you get 1 adventure point, and then you get 3 character points, and you can use those to buy things. And then as your character levels, between that 1 and 10, that also gives you things, but it's every 1,000 experience points. But you start with 3,000 experience points to build your character. There's no, well, I mean, so everything has a stat block. So if you want to play an elf, you want to play a dwarf, you want to play a human, you want to play a lizard man, you have a preset set of statistics. But what I really like is no 2 characters are going to be the same, because I may decide to build my character with the generic stat blocks that are in the book. You may decide to build your character by rolling dice. So like, I think it was the dwarf had a strength of, or physique of 4. Well, if you want to roll that, it's 1d3 plus 2. So the minimum you're going to come out with is a 3. So you might be a lightly less stronger dwarf, but you could be a really strong dwarf. So I really like that they give you that choice. You can either take the statics for the racial typical, or you can roll and maybe get really good or get really bad. Not super bad, but below average is what they're saying. So you take the average statistical value and you can roll with that, and then you get your skills. It's basically a 2d6 system. Your attribute and your level in your class, and there are multi-classes. You can be an archer mystic, so you could be a mystic archer. You could be a fighter cleric. You can be a fighter wizard, that kind of thing. So there's so much diversity in here. I mean, I see why it's 615 pages. It is chunky. Oh, by the way, 2 adventures in here, not 1, 2. 2 adventures. Oh, pre-generated characters as well. So if you don't want to sit here and try to figure out how to make characters, you just want to jump right in and start playing, there is a whole bunch of pre-generated characters ready to go. So, and they're all the archetypical classes. So I can't say enough good things about it. The other cool thing is in the equipment section. Now, if you take the pre-generated characters, you're good to go. You got all your equipment. You got everything you need for that character. If you make your character, there is also a pre-generated equipment list per class. So if you're a fighter, you get this equipment pack. If you're a cleric, you get this equipment pack, which is awesome. I personally do not like the shopping session or character creation, and then you have to kit your character out. So you don't have to do that. You could photocopy these. Like I said, I went on their website. I tried to look for a PDF. I was going to buy the PDF because then I thought, wouldn't it be cool to get the PDF, cut those sections out of the equipment and paste them on print them on a 3x5 card or a 5x8 card, and then just give those to the players, a la Castles and Crusades, how they do it with their equipment cards, which is just a standard deck of playing cards, but in the middle of the card it says what everything is. This is super cool. I'm trying to think what else. I think we covered all of that. Guys, it's just super cool. I mean, I can't. 2 adventures in here, pre-generated character. Oh, let's take a look at the character sheet. Now, I did pull this out of the back of the book, and I was panicking because this is a glued. You can see it's glued. It's not stitched. I'm worried the pages may fall out, but it looks like it's pretty good. Now, the pages will fall out if you let this sit on the shelf for 10 years and you don't use it, because the glue will dry. But I think if you keep it in a in your normal house, it should last you quite a long time. And again, it's $20. go buy a new one. I was hoping, like I said on their website, they had a PDF, but they didn't. So you pull this out of the back of the book. You can see it's pretty jagged up here at the top, and I was panicking because I was like, I don't want to break the glue bind on here and then pages start falling out. But I managed to get it out pretty good. Then you cut it. It has a cut here line. So you cut this top section off right here. This part goes away. And then you're left with your character sheet. So this is in the back of the book, which I thought was pretty cool. And it's on glossy paper. I would recommend photocopying it, scanning it into your computer, and then printing it, shrink it down to print. Because I don't think that's an 8.5 by 11. It might be. It seems a little bit longer. But you could also, you could trim that Goblin Slayer TRPG adventure sheet. You could trim that off. But this is a front and back sheet. It gives you everything you need for your character. And it is just super cool. Now, some of the mechanics. You have an ascending scale of difficulty, so it starts at like 9 as the base. Because remember, you're adding 2d6 plus your ability, whatever you're trying to do, and your level. You get to add your level. So if you're a level 1 adventurer, you add +1 to everything you roll. Now, the GM can assign modifiers plus and minus as well. You can get bonus modifiers or negative modifiers for equipment, that kind of thing. So pretty standard RPG stuff. But again, you're rolling 2d6, and you're trying to hit a target number and then adding a bunch of stuff to it. What I like that they do, like one of my big problems with D&D, and again, I don't like to sound like I'm harping on D&D, but it is the easiest one to pick on, is I don't like the hit, get hit, hit, get hit. And there's no like, yeah, you can inflict bleed, but there's like no wear and tear of the combat. Like you're still going full bore until you're out of hit points. And once you're out of hit points, then you fall down to the ground and you're dead or you're dying. Pathfinder does it too. So even though I love Pathfinder 2nd edition, it is guilty of it as well. Although they have a little bit better mechanics for like bleed and fatigue and stuff. Goblin Slayer adds a fatigue. So after every round of combat, you mark off, there's a little checkbox, an attrition chat or fatigue, and you mark it off. So the first round you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 6, depending on your attributes and how well you come out with those. So at the first rank of fatigue, you're -1 to all checks. Everything you do is -1. So that's not so horrible. If you're a first level character, you basically lose your level bonus, but you get to keep getting combat. So then after, let's see, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So possibly 10 or 11. Now you're at level 2. You're -2 to all checks, and your movement speed is halved. At rank 3 fatigue, you're -3 to all checks. Now we're getting some serious negatives here. Your life force and movement speed are halved. Your life force is basically your hit points. So you're tired, you're fatigued, you can't defend yourself as well, so you have less hit points. Makes sense. Rank 4, you are unconscious, -4 to all checks, life force and movement speed halved again. And then at rank 5, you are dead. It's that simple. So you need that. One of the things they stress in here is you should plan out your combats. Don't go charging into combat. Could end well, it could end bad for you. And if you've seen the animated, the manga TV series, the very first group of adventurers are all level 1 adventurers, and they go into a goblin den. It's supposed to be an easy mission. Well, it's not. And they didn't do their recon, they didn't do their stuff, and they run into a goblin shaman, and they get foobarred. And I think there's a hobgoblin in there as well. So, and they give you some examples in the book, which is pretty cool when you read them. It's pretty funny. And they get a TPK except for the main character, which is a priestess. And then she meets Goblin Slayer. And yeah, go watch the anime. You'll love it. It's fantastic. It's not kid friendly though. So if your kids are under 12, I would recommend not watching it with them. Watch it by yourself. But anyway, yeah, so fatigue and everything can really mess you up. The mechanics seem pretty svelte. I'm kind of liking what I'm reading. This is one I definitely want to get to the table. I would like to run this with the pre-generateds. Again, was really hoping I could find a PDF. If you guys know of a resource where there's a PDF of this, I would love it, because the way this book, and it's so chunky, if you try to spin it out and lay it flat, it's not going to do well. You're not going to get very good photocopies of it. But I would love to get a PDF of this if it's one officially available. for legal purchase and have those characters, have the ability to print those pre-gens out and then run this. Because I think everything's on the character sheet. You're fully loaded. You're good to go. I mean, it's laid out so well. Yeah, it's pretty solid. And like I said, having the pre-gens there to me just makes it that much more awesome sauce. Being able to just play, and you could, I guess you could, photocopy the character sheet and then convert those pre-gens to paper and then do it that way. And maybe my buddy's a pretty good acrobat guy, so I might get him to convert the character sheet to form fillable, and then I can just create those pre-gens myself. So we'll see. Anyway, guys, Goblin Slayer, this beautiful book, $20 on Amazon. It's affordable, and hours and hours and hours of role-playing fun. Now, full bestiary in here, bestiary, however you want to say it. There's a full monster manual in here. There's a GMing advice section, and then of course there's the rules that the players and the GMs need. This is all in one book. You don't need anything else. That's the nice part. I really like that. And like I said, the GMing advice in here, the player advice, I think should be almost in every role-playing game. It's so well done. To veteran players, it might be a couple extra pages that you're like, meh, I don't need that. But it's still nice to have, and if you're turning someone new onto the game, and let's face it, $20 for a complete game, you can, if you're adults and you've got full-time jobs, and you could probably buy a couple copies of these and pass them around the table. Maybe one of your other players will turn into a GM, and life will be good. Like I said, full-blown index, table of contents, monsters in the back, all your fantasy monsters are in here for the most part. Dragons, goblins, hobgoblins, vampires, skeletons. I mean, just pretty much everything that was in the anime is in here. Your typical fantasy tropes, all of your magic and magic weapons and everything, it's all in here. And they give you the basics information on how to create your own. So very well done. Color me impressed. I think this is a buy for $20, even if it's $25, $30 on Amazon. Pick it up. It's a good read. And then go watch the manga, and then you know how to run an adventure there, because it's going to give you everything you need. It's a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed the manga series. My buddy Bobby turned me on to it. I'd kind of seen clips of it, but I didn't know what it was. But Bobby turned me on to it and told me a little bit more about it. Really sold it to me. So I'm really enjoying this. I'm still watching it on Crunchyroll, which is crunchyroll.com, spelled just like it sounds. It's a great place to watch manga. You can pay as cheap as $7-8 a month. That gets commercials. The next tier up, you get no commercials. That's where I'm at. So that way I can watch my manga without commercials. And they have a app for the Xbox. So if you don't have a smart TV, you can load it up on your Xbox and watch it that way. So them and Funimation merged, and now it's all Crunchyroll. So totally worth it. Go watch the manga, then go buy this game and play it. You're going to have a blast. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. This is your traditional hack and slash fantasy. There's 2 adventures in here. I have not read the adventures because one of my friends may GM it. I don't know, and I want to be able to play it. If they don't, then I'll probably get this to my Patreons and I will run a session of it, because I'm pretty stoked about it, if you can't tell. So I hope that gives you some insight in this 2d6 system, plus your level, plus whatever your focus is, be it fighting, lock picking, whatever. Target number, meet or exceed that target number. Oh, criticals are on boxcars, double sixes. If you roll double sixes, you get a critical, so you can do double damage. You can pick the lock faster, blah, blah, blah. They give you some options in there. Double ones is a critical failure. That's bad. So yeah, depending on what you're doing, if I remember correctly, I think you can even get a point of fatigue. And the points, remember, it's cumulative. So you have 5 check boxes, and then you check those boxes off. And when you hit the 6th check box, now you go to fatigue level 2, and now you're at a -2 to everything you do. Or you're at a -1, then it gets ugly. So anyway, super cool, easy mechanics. I don't think it's terribly difficult. Really well laid out, very well written for us Yanks. And what little bit of art in here is taken from the manga or the animated series. So you're going to get good art. It's going to look good. I think you're going to enjoy it. Let me know if you pick it up and you check it out. Let me know what you think. If you already have it and you're loving it, let me know. I'm going to post this to my Facebook group and to several different groups on Facebook as well. So I hope everybody enjoys it. As always, give it, Thumbs if you loved it. Blah, blah, blah. I can't talk today. Thumbs if you liked it. Subs if you loved it. I stole that from Dave 2D because he's awesome. I love his tech videos. Matt Coville always says everything's down in the doobly-doo, and I love that. I stole that from Matt as well because Matt makes awesome videos. So anyway, Goblin Slayer, 20 bucks on Amazon. Go buy it. Let me know what you think. Put notes down in the bottom. Till next time, peace, love, and happiness. I love you guys. The end of September, we're doing a drawing for my Patreon. So if you want a chance to get some free swag, go ahead and sign up for Patreon, and I'll add you to the list, and we'll do a random drawing to see who wins what. I've got a couple cool things going out. So anyway, love you guys. Peace and hair grease. As always, remember, Mr. Mean says, be nice.